final score, Cambridge United 2, Wrexham 2. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC, and I was that a hugely disappointing evening? Was it a good evening? I'm not sure. I guess it's one that hindsight will have to answer, isn't it? I mean, the fact of the matter is, we should have won that match. And, I mean, either on paper, we're away to a team that's 23rd in the table, and in practice, because we started extremely well, didn't. Lots to be frustrated about, but it's got to be said, Cambridge, under Neil Harris, who came in mid-February, haven't lost a game by a margin of more than one goal. They are losing matches, but they are competitive and weren't beaten in their last two games, which they drew. Whereas Wycombe are home to Shrewsbury, who are bottom and are losing games hand over fist and are losing games by more than a one-goal margin, and they fail to win as well. So both the top two, I think, will have to be very disappointed that we didn't take advantage of games against sides at the other extreme of the table. But I think Wycombe's drop point is worse than ours. So ironically, we're in, I think, a slightly better position than we were before the match. Admittedly, Charlton and Stockport won, allows them to catch us up, which is not good, but I can't help feeling if we're going to drop enough points for one of them to catch us, then we're not going to finish second anyway. So my mind is more on Wycombe at the moment, or well, should I say more on ourselves. Anyway, this game, well, unchanged side again after the impressive controlled win at Exeter, and it was a similar start. We started superbly, we're ahead by the 4th minute, and we could have been ahead before then as well. Longman sweeping in a good ball to the far post. It's headed partly clear. Smith drilling a shot in from the edge of the box through a crowded area. And Cambridge goalkeeper Nathan Bishop, the guy who injured Mullin in the States, managed to get to his left and sort of shovel it out, scoop it out. It was an uncomfortable save. Watts just beat Rodriguez to the rebound, or it would have been 1-0. Within a minute it was, because Wrexham's pressure continued. James putting the ball into the box, and it was headed away by Brophy as far as Dobson, who took a touch 25 yards out, drove the ball through the crowd perfectly into the corner. No footwork from Bishop, and he couldn't get across to it. Dobson had scored his first league goal for Wrexham, his first away goal since he scored at Cray Wanderers in the early rounds of the FA Cup last season for Charlton. And Wrexham had the lead, and we looked comfortable. We drew 2-2, of course, with Cambridge at the racecourse earlier this season, and Cambridge was surprisingly good and really impressive. And although they equalised a penalty in the last minute, I wouldn't begrudge them a point for a moment. This didn't look like the same Cambridge. They didn't seem to have an awful lot to them, and we were in control, which is what made our loss of control frustrating. Just after the quarter-hour mark, there was another opportunity. O'Connell pinging a great ball from the back, looking for Sam Smith, who got free of the last defender. Bishop, like I say, remember what he did to Mullin? Comes charging out of his box and just beat Smith to it with a header. Yeah, I had a fearful moment then, to be honest with you. A couple of minutes later, he jumps and punches one of his own centre-backs on the back of the head. You wouldn't want to be in and around the box with that guy. But they survive. We then, after half an hour, had an escape of our own. It was an error as we were going forwards. Rodriguez tried to pick out a teammate. It was really good feat by him, but then he gave it straight to Cambridge, and they broke away and won the corner. The corner was swung in, and Morrison, the centre-back, lost his man at the near post. Lovely flick header across the face of goal. Looked like it was a goal. Just went narrowly past the far post. Cambridge had to shout for a penalty as well. Dobson was marking Gibbons, and, well, did Dobson pull him back? Possibly. It wasn't a big pull of the shirt, but it was a pull of the shirt, so I think the referee is entitled to give it if he really wants to. We went back up the other end, mind, and put some pressure on. Admittedly, it was pressure that, again, the Cambridge keeper created. Dobson launching the ball back into a crowded area. Bishop comes out and just totally misjudges it, collides with his centre-back, but he's already overrun the ball and he's stretching back behind his head to try and catch it. For a moment it looks like Cleworth's been handed a sitter, but it just bounces away awkwardly for him. It's difficult to control. He can get a touch to it, but he can't bring it under full control, and Stevenson does really well to get back between Cleworth and the ball and protect it so that Bishop can come across and grab hold of it. But then, having said all this, like I say, Cambridge, apart from that set piece, haven't created anything. They've got back into the game more. We're starting to drop off and protect our lead, maybe with a half an eye to the break. And it would have been great if we'd got in ahead, because as we saw afterwards, Phil Parkinson wasn't happy at the team sitting on the lead. He wanted them to get that intensity back, and with 5 minutes before the break, we concede a goal. Although there is an element of controversy to it, because Ryan Loft goes in late and over the ball on Owen O'Connell. It's a bad tackle. He gets booked for it. He's very lucky to get booked for it. If O'Connell had made anything of it, if we'd mobbed the ref, he might well have not given a yellow but a red. I think probably should have given a red, if I'm perfectly honest. It was a bad tackle. But O'Connell just gets back up again. The yellow's given. We don't complain. And we pay, because instantly Stokes, who was for me Cambridge's best player, floating around, creating off the striker, has got the ball on the right hand side. He's surrounded by Wrexham players who've drawn him into a cul-de-sac, but he gets out of it really well, feeds it inside. Nice little return pass to him as he breaks down the right hand side from Ballard, and Stokes whips in a fabulous cross. Bennett, the right wing back, has managed to lose his markers. He's come narrow and he's running through the centre. It looks like a simple finish. I'm not sure if he gets anything on the ball with his head, but whether he does or not, he definitely unsights Max Cleworth, who can't do anything. The ball hits his chest before he can respond. It must have hit a bone, because it's flying into the bottom left corner with a bit of pace. Okonkwo makes an excellent save to get down and push it away. Loft, who should have been sent off, this is 39 seconds after play resumed after his yellow card, has a shot from point blank range, which again Okonkwo somehow manages to block. It's great keeping, but it spins out to Bennett and he's got an open goal and he scores. Cruel on Okonkwo, and if Loft had been sent off, that wouldn't have happened. We then, 2 minutes later, we respond well, and another controversial moment. A cross coming in from McLean is deflected into the goal mouth. Two players go for it. Watts, the centre-back, is standing beyond them. The two players miss it, and it hits his hand in the box. His hand is stuck out, but he's unsighted. Which way do you cut that? 50-50? We don't get it. But 18 seconds into the second half, Cambridge do get a penalty, and I think the Watts one is more of a penalty than this one. They load the ball up into the box. Now, admittedly, Loft is a big unit. Brunt allows him to get goal side, and if he didn't allow that to happen, then there'd be no problem. But he does allow him to get goal side. Loft is scrapping, trying to bring it down. Brunt definitely had his hand on his shoulder. Does he pull him enough to knock him down? I don't think so. It was a penalty. It's a soft one for me. Like I said, I think the Watts one is more, the handball's more of a penalty than this one. But the ref gives it, and Stokes steps up very confidently and drills it inside the left post, sends Congo the wrong way. And at that point, Cambridge are ahead and get a bit of momentum going. They start carving out other opportunities. There's a spell of pressure, which again, it's got to be said, starts off with Owen O'Connell blatantly being blocked off by Loft, so he can't win a header. He's almost knocked off his feet, and Wrexham concede a corner because of it. It's cleared, comes back in, and Gibbons, who stayed up for the corner, is right round the back of the defence. Loft is waiting for a cutback. It's pulled back in, And luckily for Wrexham, Brunt is able to, at full stretch, make an absolutely massive interception to get the ball clear. Otherwise, a hell of a chance for us to go 3-1 down. We are not happy with the ref at this point. I wasn't either, I've got to say. Phil Parkinson certainly wasn't after the match. And we've had a bit of a let-off. We start to come back into it. Dobson feeds Cleworth, who drills a shot from 25 yards, takes a nasty deflection. Great save by Bishop, who scrambles across and manages to tip it over. Within 2 minutes, though, again Cambridge have a chance. Bennett again, we're having problems down our left. Bennett's getting into lots of space, as well as Stokes for the actual first goal. He sweeps the ball into the far post. Brophy does well to keep the move alive, nodding it back inside, and on the bounce, Loft drills it from just outside the 6-yard box. It hits a body in the goalmouth. Not sure if it was Brunt or one of Loft's teammates. It was heading goal bound, and it ricochets behind. The ref gives a corner. Wrexham survives that though, and within 3 minutes of Loft's chance, we are level. And this is there's a lot of quality about this goal. Longman on the right-hand side, whipping it across with terrific shape. Smith getting right behind it. Terrific header from about 10 yards out, back the direction it came. Keeper's got no chance. The moment it leaves Smith's head, you know it's a goal. And at that point, we're looking confident. We've got over half an hour left, and you thought, okay, we've made any weather of this, but you feel at that point, okay, but now we're going to go and run away with it. But we don't. Cambridge have an opportunity from another from a long throw-in. Morrison flicks it on. It looks like a Wrexham player gets pushed to the ground in the middle of the area, but it's not given. And as the loose ball bounces on, Morrison's managed to double round and charge after it. Okonkwo has to be really quick and alert to get out and grab the ball at Morrison's feet. But Wrexham are quickly getting on top of the game. Dobson feeds the ball in, looking for Smith in the box. He's one-on-one with the keeper. For once, his first touch isn't really the best, though, and it forces him wide. It's a great ball by Dobson. Smith, from a tighter angle than he'd have wanted, drills a powerful shot in. Bishop's made himself big. It hits him, ricochets out at the edge of the area, and Rathbone charges in and drills a shot on target, which is blocked. We throw Stephen Fletcher on for Rodriguez and then take the corner, and Wrexham win a free kick as a result on the left-hand side. McLean lifts it in, 8 yards out. Brunt is there, gets up cleanly, can't control his header properly, and puts it just wide of the right post. So we're really starting to push now. Fletcher is giving us some presence up front alongside Smith, who is absolutely tireless. O'Connell hits another fabulous pass. I mean, this is a worldie from the back, and manages to put Fletcher into a wonderful position left side the box. And again, it's ironic, isn't it? Just like Smith moments earlier, for once Fletcher's touch lets him down. What a good technical player he is, but he can't bring it in, and it bounces behind for the goal kick. A lovely move sets up another opportunity for Wrexham. Dobson working a really neat 1-2 with Cleworth down the right hand side, feeding it inside for Fletcher, who looks to just chop past his man and succeeds, and then tries to play Smith in one-on-one. Big interception before the ball can reach Smith, with the keeper advancing. We make a double change at 30 minutes left. Elliot Lee on for Ollie Rathbone, and Ryan Barnett on for James McLean. Longman switching to the left-hand side as we really try to go for it. Actually, we don't make that many chances straight away after the change. And Cambridge have a chance 3 minutes. I beg your pardon. Scrap that. We don't make many chances until about 3 minutes we end. Longman standing the ball in. Fletcher heading it down. Bishop, makes a hash of it. It's not a save, it's a take on his line. It just bounces. I don't know how he gets it so wrong, but it sort of bounces up onto his shoulder and ricochets loose into the goal mouth. He is so lucky to survive it, and we can see the foul as we try and go for the loose ball. But in added time, there are two big moments. First minute of added time, Elliot Lee does really well on the left. He's been fouled clearly. The referee signals advantage. I've got to be honest, I'm not happy, because I'm thinking, he's got two players on him. He's not going to get much of an advantage. To be fair to Lee and the ref, Lee persists and manages to get beyond them, feeds it into Dobson, who keeps it moving out to the right. Barnett with a great pull back to the edge of the box, and Elliott Lee's got a fabulous chance, 15 yards out, but he's managed to get into the box. There's nobody there. He's on his own. He's got some players for him in goal, but it's a hell of a chance, and he just takes it first time and skies it. So frustrating for Lee. You know, it's the sort of situation he's desperate to be in. A great chance, but yeah, he just puts it way over the bar. And then, of course, the controversial moment, essentially the last kick of the game, because once the ball is there, there's just a keeper kicking it and the game's over. A corner on the right hand side, it's swept into the far post. O'Connell gets it brilliantly, terrific header, scores. He runs behind the goal. There's a big gap behind the goal with his arms aloft celebrating, but the referee's blown his whistle. Now, I must admit, at the time, I thought it was for shirt pulling, and I was furious because I'm thinking, you know, there's been a lot of shirt pulling. I mean, either way, and Cambridge really were grappling with us. He goes in, he warns people, and then doesn't do anything, and then he's disallowed that. But actually, to be fair to the ref, it's not for shirt pulling. It's because the corner's gone out before coming back in again. So, okay, fair enough. Linesman's in the position to see it. Fair play. Very frustrating, but all right. But a frustrating game for Wrexham. Afterwards, Phil Parkinson complained about the referee's lack of action on Bishop's time wasting, which I would agree with. There was a lot of time spent with the ball in the keeper's hands, and the refs seemed to have no interest at all in either hurrying him up or adding more time on. 4 minutes was a bare minimum, I thought, to put on in the second half. And there were quite a few funny decisions that went against us, I've got to admit. Not least Max Cleworth's bizarre yellow card, which, as far as I can see, it's just Wrexham running back into it. We're running back into our own half. Cleworth's just running back into position. A Cambridge player also is. Neither of them are looking to interfere with each other, but the Cambridge player runs across Cleworth's path and they collide. The Cambridge player falls over. Cleworth continues, just doesn't pay any attention to it, just keeps running back into position. He's focused on doing that. The ref blows up, gives a free kick, and I'm thinking, that's not a free kick. And bucks Cleworth, whose look of astonishment spoke for all of us, I've got to say. Smith's yellow card, that was fair enough. Although he was getting fouled a lot. I mean, I've got to say, the other thing about the ref I was unhappy about was that our centre forwards took a lot of physical battering. They got a lot of free kicks from fouls on them from behind, but there were no yellow cards to the centre backs, which I found bemusing, to say the least. Anyway, hey ho, let's move on. Have a look at other performances where Okonkwo was very good, made some good stops when needed, was dominant in the air, is absolutely spot on. Got one terrific early kick out, which nearly put Smith clear on the goalkeeper. And yes, I mean, Okonkwo, you feel he's entering his imperial stage, don't you? He looks so good at the moment. The three centre-backs, well, Cambridge had asked questions of us. They all did well, pretty much. I mean, Brunt will be frustrated at the penalty, I think. Not only because of the decision, but because, like I said, Loft, who wasn't very mobile, was able to muscle him away and get goal side of him. So that was a frustration. O'Connell was winning a lot again in the air and playing good progressive passes. Cleworth again was able to get forwards and look solid defensively despite that strange yellow card he picked up. The wing-backs, Longman I thought was good, although I think he'd have liked to get more crosses in, if I'm honest. He switched to the left, like I said, when McLean came off. He looked lively on both flanks. It's a glorious assist for the Smith header. But maybe, well, you wish he could have gambled a little bit more and trying to beat the fullback to get balls in. But he had a good game. McLean, as always, worked hard. But they were starting to get in down that flank and we were losing our shape a bit. And he wasn't really able to get into crossing positions that much. And so Barnett came on for him. Barnett was lively in the 30 minutes he had, got a couple of nice crosses in, and also that good pullback, which Lee will be frustrated he didn't finish. In the centre of midfield, another good shift by Rathbone again. He was constantly battling away. I think it was just to try and get the creativity of Leon that he was taken off. And because Dobson, the other option to take off in midfield, I suppose, had a good game. In fact, I'd go man of the match with Dobson. Scored, but beyond that, some of his progressive passing was very good. Played a couple of really nice passes into the box. We were unlucky not to profit from them as well. Matty James, who's seen two of them again, was strong, good use of the ball, and showed character in the midfield, trying to regulate play, control things. Yeah, the usual things I say about him. When Lee came on, of course, he was lively and he did all right, except sadly he missed that opportunity, which obviously he'd be so frustrated by. Jay Rodriguez had quite a quietish game, had a couple of nice touches. He again tried that instant ping out to the right hand side, which I love seeing him do. Didn't quite come off it, but he's got great vision. I like Rodriguez, but he wasn't able to really hurt Cambridge. And Fletcher, when Fletcher came on, it became more of an orthodox two up front. He made an impact. He was winning his headers, getting him behind, and will be a little disappointed, I think, with his level of skill, that he wasn't able to make more of a couple of half chances that he had. Smith, on the other hand, up front, well, he took his goal ever so well. Another good performance by Smith. He just runs those channels, makes those runs, makes life difficult, forces defenders into mistakes if they manage to beat him to a ball that turns them. Again, so strong with his back to goal. High calibre performance, fully merited his goal. So yeah, 2 drop points against the team that are 23rd, and let's be honest, will get relegated at the end of the season. Isn't great, but it's not as bad as drawing at home to Shrewsbury, which Wickham did. And so yeah, like I said, I think on balance, we're in a slightly better position, you know. One more game ticked off, closer to our objective. I think Burton's going to be tough again on Saturday. We need to dig in and be ruthless against these teams in the bottom 4 who are fighting for their lives and fulfilling the cliche of doing exactly that. But